gallery, and more. You're watching Northwest News.
Thanks for tuning in to Northwest News, the show where we provide the latest coverage on the Northwest Missouri State University campus and in the Maryville community. I'm Wiley Ray.
And I'm Skyler Stamps. Before we get into this week's episode, be sure to hit that notification bell for all of the latest news coverage as well as other KNWT content.
This past week was National Student Transfer Week, and to show support for students who have transferred to Northwest, the university invited students to attend the Transfer Student Social. Reporter Evan Jacobson has more on the event.
Last week, the Northwest Transfer Department here on campus hosted the Transfer Student Social, where students were able to meet and socialize with other transfer students in part to celebrate National Transfer Student Week. Jared Larson, a transfer academic advisor here on campus, explains why he thinks it's important to host these events for transfer students and what all goes into putting on these activities behind the scenes.
So one of the big reasons that we put on these transfer events is because we want to recognize and support the transfer students that we have at our campus. We believe that it's sometimes an underrepresented population, and we really want them to feel that we value them and that we want to support them. And so these events help transfer students meet new people, kind of network. Also allows them to learn more about Northwest and the resources we have available to them. And it's just a great way to engage and socialize and have positive interactions. So we're always trying to find events that actually draw students. It's easy to say we're gonna have a transfer event and then just like do the bare minimum, but we wanna try to find ways that engage students so they're not just showing up, putting their name down for a potential prize and walking away. We want that interaction, we want that network opportunity. We just want them to enjoy being a Bearcat, you know. We try to pick specific events to get students interested. And so behind the scenes, we're coordinating with facilities, we're working with food services, whether it be Sodexo or one of our other partners on campus, and then just coordinating dates to make sure we're not overlapping with other important events on campus so that we can really focus time and energy on our transfer population as well.
The social aspect is what students value the most about these transfer student events.
I think being able to meet other transfer students who have had the same experience as you and have gone through that change of transitioning from a community college to a four-year university, it's just really nice to have those connections because you know where the other student's coming from and what position they're in as well. Honestly, the transfer department's great. Everyone that works in it is super nice and super welcoming. And then also, I have a lot of friends that are transfer students, so we kind of come as a group and getting to meet new kids is nice. So that's kind of what keeps us coming back.
For the stories that matter to you, I'm Evan Jacobson, Northwest News.
Looks like a great turnout. If you're interested in coming to Northwest or know someone who is, be sure to apply on the university website at nwmissouri.edu.
Also happening on campus last week was the Student Art Gallery, and I had the opportunity to check it out. I'm here inside of the gallery, here inside of the Olive Duluth Fine Arts Building here on the Northwest campus. Each semester, the Department of Fine and Performing Arts puts on a senior showcase for art students to showcase their artwork to other students, faculty, staff, and even community members. Art students here at Northwest put in countless hours into all of their projects. Throughout the semester, students work on their projects to submit for classes and even sell. In the basement of the Olive Duluth Fine Arts Building, art students have an area called The Pit, which has individual art studios for them to work on various projects, such as the ones you see here. The Senior Showcase gives Northwest seniors an opportunity to show everyone the hard work that they have put in during their time at Northwest as an art student. The event was open Monday through Thursday last week, with an opening ceremony on Monday. If you missed this gallery, don't worry. Northwest is bringing the Bob Walkenhorst exhibit running from October 30th through November 17th, open Tuesdays through Fridays here inside of the same gallery as the Senior Showcase. For the stories that matter to you, I'm Skyler Stamps reporting for Northwest News.
There will be another Senior Showcase next semester featuring the artwork for seniors graduating in the spring.
In the community this past week, one local business partnered with Mosaic Medical Center to host the third annual For the Girls event. When we return, reporter Kendall Crawford has more on the event. You're watching Northwest News.
Here at Tower Yearbook, we are a dedicated staff of photographers, designers, copywriters, and practicum students.
Our staff is a student-led, student-run media outlet, producing a book with over 300 pages. Be sure to pop out at any of our portrait or distribution events.
So stay tuned to our social media to see what's up.
Finger paints.
Water, egg, glue, glitter, by golly, it's perfect.
What is it?
It's loosely related, Thursdays at noon.
Thank you for sticking with us and welcome back to Northwest News. Last week, the Down store, Willow and Elm, partnered with Mosaic Medical Center to host their third annual For the Girls event. Reporter Kendall Crawford tells us more about the event.
This past Wednesday, Willow and Elm, in partnership with Mosaic Medical Center, hosted their annual For the Girls event, which invites Maryville community members to come and book mammogram appointments. I was able to speak to Willow and Elm founder Stephanie Campbell on why For the Girls was created, what it promotes, and why it's important.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Campbell, and I am the founder of Willow and Elm. And Willow and Elm is a lifestyle boutique. We do apparel for women, we do accessories for women, and then a lot of gift for basically anyone on your list. For the Girls was actually like something that was a little bit brainchild of mine. My best friend had her sister get diagnosed with cancer, with breast cancer, and it had metastasized to her bones by the time they found it because she wasn't getting her regular screenings. And so I was thinking about that and talking to other women and finding out that so many women that were of screening age were not getting the regular screenings. So I wanted to do something for our community here to support women in getting those screenings. So I had the crazy idea of actually bringing a mobile mammography unit to our site and having women actually get their mammograms here. And I thought to myself, who's crazy enough to help me pull off a wild idea? And so Megan Jennings and Kelsey Meyer at the Hospital Foundation, I knew would come up with a way that we could make this happen. So I approached them, they're friends of mine and colleagues, and we found out that we couldn't actually do the mobile mammography unit on site because the technology that we have here in Maryville for mammograms for women is very, very good, and it's actually better than what would be in a mobile truck. So we would be downgrading technology if we did that for women. So instead, we decided to bring the scheduling people from the hospital to the site to actually book on site, and then just celebrate women with a lot of fun and little pop-ups and just a day of like celebration and love and, you know, protection for women and making sure we get our screenings scheduled.
I was able to catch up with Kelsey Meyer to hear about some of the activities and vendors on site and what Mosaic's goals are on scheduled appointments for the event as a whole.
Kelsey Meyer, Community Relations Manager for Mosaic in Maryville. We've always felt that it was important to include some movement with yoga, so it's beautiful that we have the pocket park, that we can do it outside, and then we've got Gabby, who's doing massages with Bohemian Feels, and she's awesome, so that's another way that you can kind of be pampered a little bit. Hair accessories going on, permanent jewelry. Outside we have more of kind of like the little shops, so we've got coffee, we've got syrups, coffee syrups, we've got cake balls, we've got cookies, macaroons, pumpkins, mums, just things that are kind of fun, October themed. Our goal is always to get at least 50 scheduled. So I think we're there. We had a huge rush right when we opened up. But we've done 50, we've scheduled at least 50 the last couple of years, so 75 is our stretch goal. So I'm hoping that we make that.
For the stories that matter to you, I'm Kendall Crawford reporting for Northwest News.
What a great event to bring to the community to support women in Maryville.
One club that has been brought to campus for those who are interested in the fantasy world and embarking on epic quests is Dungeons and Bearcats. Last week, I was able to sit in on one of the games and learn more about how it is played. The Dungeons and Bearcats Club was founded in 2020 but have since found their stride.
So at the beginning of this semester, at our first meeting, we had about 75 people who were at the first meeting. Right now, I think we said about 60 per Friday meeting. People obviously have, like theater, I know, is a big thing that eats at time for the people, as well as band. As those sort of conclude during a semester, we see people ebb and flow into the club.
Even if you can't make it to every week's session, the club still offers ways for you to join.
So the way we have the club campaign set up is anyone can join at any time. We make it very clear to anyone coming into the club that if you have to miss some nights, that's entirely fine. It's built to plug and chug, as you will, with players and such. We had someone join my table last night who hasn't been able to be here. They were here the first night but couldn't come back because of theater, and then they were here last night, and I just had them come to the table. They made a character in about 20 minutes and joined right in. To get someone set up for a campaign here, usually what it is if they have some semblance of knowledge on how to make a character, we'll tell them what level and tell them what is available to use to make the character, and then let them go and make a character. But if they need help, we'll have one of our experienced DMs or someone on staff come over and help them make a character that they're wanting. So we take an idea they have in their head and put it onto paper.
Many members join and don't realize how much of a community they build along the road.
I'd say my favorite thing about the club is seeing the club go from about 15 or 20 people when I first got here to 60 to 75 has been truly eye-opening for it brings in a lot of people who want to be part of a community, and then they stay in that community to continue experiencing stories with others. I would say what has grown our club from 15 to the numbers we have now would be the environment we try to foster. We accept anybody who's wanting to play any knowledge range from next to nothing outside of wanting to play to, experienced Gygaxian level D&D player. Everyone's welcome. You're able to come find a seat at a table, and if tables are full, we'll make room for you.
If you're interested in joining the club, they meet every Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. or you can find them on Instagram at Dungeons Bearcats NWMSU. For the stories that matter to you, I'm Wiley Ray reporting for Northwest News. If you are interested in learning more about the club, be sure to check out their Instagram at Dungeons Bearcats NWMSU.
Up next, we'll check out some highlights from last week's edition of the Missourian, provided by news editor Dakota Oswalt and Missourian reporter Brooklyn Farnan. You're watching Northwest News.
Are you sick and tired of not knowing enough about life's trickiest questions and need answers now? Well, introducing Now You Know, your place to learn everything about anything with our host, the studious Alexander Snodderly.
You can count on me.
And if you call now, we'll even include our co-host, Katie Bird, as she talks one-on-one with viewers like you. Thanks, Katie Bird. Catch us Wednesdays at noon on KNWT TV.
Now you know!
Welcome back to Northwest News, the place where you can find news and whereabouts on what's happening on the Northwest campus and the Maryville community. Thanks for sticking with us.
This week's story from the Missourian includes a deep dive on a recent Missouri law regarding opioids and opioid usage on college campuses.
Almost 7 years ago, on October 26, 2017, the opioid crisis in the United States was declared a public health emergency. Over 500,000 people have died from overdoses involving opioids since, according to the Federal Communications Commission.
In Missouri, drug overdose is the #1 cause of death for adults aged 18 to 44, according to the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. Over 70% of these involve opioids.
Brenda Shields is a Missouri State Representative for District 11, which includes parts of Buchanan County. She introduced House Bill 1091 February 8th of 2023. The statute in Missouri at the time said naloxone, an opioid antagonist which rapidly reverses the effects of an opioid overdose, was the only drug that could be used as an overdose reversal agent.
Due to the recent increase in opioid overdose deaths, more reversal agents have been created, and Shields thought the state should be able to use any drug approved by the FDA to counteract overdoses.
Brenda Shields said, "We have a real crisis with the fentanyl crisis right now, and with the crisis comes invention. And I knew that we had many companies out there that were looking to develop new and better drugs to counteract an overdose. And I thought that Missouri needs to be ready so that we would have all FDA-approved drugs available at our disposal to help save lives."
House Bill 1091 was brought to the Senate, where it was also passed and later signed by Missouri Governor Mike Parson. Shields said she felt happy because she knew it would increase the amount of tools Missouri had in place to save lives. Shields said this bill is important to her and that it would make her happy if it makes even one parent not feel the loss of their child.
Shields said, and most of it's really not off the street. Most of them, they've made connections through Facebook and social media that they're able to get a hold of some of these drugs, and they have no intention of taking fentanyl, and I'm just truly trying to save their lives, and I'm trying to save the heartbreak of the family that's left behind. For more on these stories, check out nwmissourinews.com online or pick up a paper out of the paper boxes on campus.
Well, that's all the time we have for Northwest News. Be sure to go to the description below to rewatch certain sections of our show.
And be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for all of the latest news and updates. Also, this past week, our channel hit 1,000 subscribers. So thank you to all who tune in each week to watch our content. This has been Northwest News. Thanks for watching.